What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. You join me in sunny Kings Lynn today because we are visiting Anglia Car Auctions for a whole weekend. The reason being is they've got one of their classic car sales on the Saturday and the Sunday. They've got over 270 lots going through. Yeah, I'm so excited to get started, so let's have a look around and see what's going to be going under the hammer this weekend. The first lot of the auction is this 1966 Reliant Regal super van. It's a familiar sight for some people. Only 4 horses, livery on the sides. Inside is, well, as basic as they get. There's 65,000 miles on this Reliant. Great car for the comedy factor. I think you could probably hire this out. And there is no reserve on Del Boy's Reliant. Let's see what that goes for. Next up, we've got this 1964 Austin Mini Traveller. Now this is a left-hand drive model because it's come from sunny Mallorca. I can't get enough of the sliding windows on the Minis. Oh, that's so cool. This one is a bit stiff though. Show you around the interior. The Mini is showing 36,000 miles. Reasonably clean interior. And it's even got a sunroof. Along with the purchase of the Mini comes the original bill of sale. This cost £496 new. On top of that price, it was just £16 for the optional extra of the sunroof. Here is the 848cc engine. It needs a little bit of work, but only a bit of light restoration. I just learnt that the Mini came over to the UK in 1999, so it's been in the UK a fair old while. The estimate on the Mini Traveller is 4,750 to 5,750. Next up is this 1981 Ford Capri 1.6L. Got to say, from the off, the vinyl roof is in really good condition. No signs of bubbling rust under there. You know what, that is really nice as well. Dashboard is mint, no cracking. Door cards look great. All the seats are in one piece with no foam coming out of the side. The mileage reads 15,000 miles, but they assume it's 115. I've just lifted the bonnet up and I'm pleased to tell you guys that this is mint as well. Really nice to see the engine bay in great condition. There's a 1600 Pinto engine. Although the Capri is now MOT and tax exempt, it has got MOT until September of this year, and the estimate is £6,000 to £8,000. Now we've just stumbled across what Lauren's described as possibly her favourite Mini yet. A 1978 Leyland Mini Clubman. Ah, look at that. Looks like the interior's all been restored and re-upholstered as well. That's cracking. Looks lovely. It's like this brown leather, but the piping around it is green, so it really finishes it off. The description tells us that the car has been fully stripped and rebuilt. Everything is practically new or restored on it. Very nice, even down to the small details of these little door cards. Bit of trim along there as well. Everything has been restored to such a high quality. Lauren has said that the wheels are her favourite bit of the car. There's some super light alloys, and we get a glimpse of how clean it is under the wheel arches as well. Here is the 1100 engine. It's in great condition. Sometimes you look under the bonnet and the engines have been left out, but this has been fully reconditioned as well. overall, I think it's the colour scheme that's selling it to Lauren. Yeah, it's just a really nice Mini. Anyway, there's no estimate on it because it is a no reserve. So let's find out what that goes for. Next up is this 1967 Cortina 1600E. I'm such a fan of the dash on these, all of the gauges. Great for a car that's, what, well over 50 years old. I'm pleased to tell you all that this engine bay as well looks brilliant. It's not been restored, but it's not rotten either. The Cortina no longer needs tax and MOT because it's exempt, but it's in great condition, having covered what is believed to be 83,000 miles. When you look closer, it is on the turn, starting to go in a few little places, but all things that can be repaired. And the estimate on the Cortina is 10 to 12,000 pounds. Now usually at Anglia Car Auctions you're meted by the marquee full of cars, but they've now had that removed, which has opened up their yard space. Moving on, this is one of the cars I have really wanted to see, a 1985 Mark II Ford Fiesta. As most of you will already know, I own a Mark II Fiesta. Not a Ghia though. Great condition, they always go on the inner wings over there. And over here, that looks like it's probably been repaired, but a really good repair has been done, because you can hardly tell. In the bay, we've got its 1100 engine. The description tells us that the Mark II has had a restoration over the course of around 5 months. The interior is in very good condition. And it's got a sunroof. And as Lawrence just told me, it's got a sunroof, which she loves. Now this isn't me trying to pick holes, I just noticed things. The rubber here has deteriorated, so it's going to want another one of them. You see it's starting to go rusty there. Don't want to leave that too long because water will get inside and start rotting the doors. Being the Ghia model, it's even got a rev counter. That's proper upmarket. The Fiesta's got MOT until March 2024, which is always good to have. And it's got 50,000 miles on the clock. Now that is the Mark II Fiesta. The estimate on it is £2,500 to £3,500 pounds. Now me personally, being a little bit of a Mark II Fiesta connoisseur, I think it's worth maybe slightly more than that, but we'll wait and see what it goes for.
£3,600 not expensive. At £3,600, all double insurance, self-away ones, twice, all done in the room.
We've just come across what I believe to be a future classic. Really liking these the more I see them. This is a 1998 E36 BMW 318i. I really like the look of the dashboards in these. It's really driver focused with all of the radio sort of slanted towards the driver. Now I had to read that twice. This has only done 30,000 miles, which is completely warranted and kind of explains why it's in such good condition. And here is the engine bay with the 1.6 litre engine in it. And the main reason I'm showing you guys around this BMW, not only because of the surprisingly low mileage, but you get such a lot of car for your money when it's estimated just £2,000 to £3,000.
What's your number there, please?
Here's a classic that I can't say I've seen before. This is called a Renault Fugo Turbo. I've probably butchered that pronunciation, and I'm sure everyone will correct me in the comment section if I am wrong. You've got the retro turbo livery on the sides, along with the quirky door handle. Show you inside. I've never seen in here either. It's even got an oil temperature gauge, even though the sunlight is making it quite dark and shadowed in here. Even more turbo livery on the rear windscreen. Yeah, I think this is a proper quirky car. As I say, I don't think I've seen one of these before. Something else I've just spotted as well is the BBS wheels on this. Very nice. Even has some wipers for the headlights. Very upmarket. Here is the 1.6 engine, which produces around 130 brake horsepower. You can see over here, the turbo is just down there. The car has covered 117,000 miles. The estimate on the Fiago Turbo is £5,000 to £7,000. Look at this old barge, a 1967 Volvo 121 Amazon Estate. Big old chunky door handle on it. Oh wow, check that interior out. That is proper classic. I'm not quite sure what the name for them speedos is when it goes sort of horizontally along, but I really like that. The clocks are showing 72,000 miles. Overall, the condition of the interior is very nice. There's a few bits that need sorting out here and there, but it's a pretty old car, so you've got to understand that. Just noticed, got the same thing as the old Minis when the number plate comes down. So let's try and open this. I'm guessing if you've got something hanging out the back, then that number plate comes down. Oh, just opened the bonnet. It's got a bit of light shining through to the interior. I'm sure that can be welded up. You don't even have to have a bonnet stay because it's got these strong springs to keep the bonnet up. In here we've got the 2-litre variant engine. The estimate on the Amazon Estate is £3,500 to £5,500.
That's 3-3 and is now going twice in it, provisional. That's 3-3, half time recording of 3003. We'll see what we can do with it, provisional 3.
Now this weekend while we're up at Anglia Car Auction, we normally spend in a hotel, but because it was so much money, we decided to camp this time. But what would be even better is if we bought this Bedford's Bambi van. This is a 1987 Bedford van. Very tidy and small, I guess, with 68,000 miles on the clock. Now I just went to go and move the seat back so I can get into the camper van, and it's revealed the engine, so I'm pretty sure that's how you work on it. I've made it into the camper van. We've got a fridge, couple of hobs, a sink, pretty much everything you want. 2 long seats at the back as well, which probably turn into a bed. Bambi over here ran out of MOT in May 2016, but doesn't seem to be in too bad shape. I think a couple of weekends work could get this little beast back on the roads. The Bedford camper van is estimated at £3,000 to £4,000. We've just stumbled across this 1985 Ford Escort XR3 ING. I'm not quite sure what an ING stands for, but it's a convertible. Now it's always nice to buy a convertible when it's this sunny, but the roof on this one has seen better days. Oh, blimey. Aftermarket steering wheel on here. Big old chunky Recaros, which I'm not too sure whether they are original or not. I'm pretty sure they're out of another Ford. Now the Escort does have MOT until May 2024. There's a lot of things that need doing to it. It definitely isn't waterproof. Look at that. The chavved up theme continues with the headlights. Kind of max powerish, I guess. There is a 1.6 CVH under the bonnet. Anyway, the estimate is £6,000 to £8,000.
pay 4,500 euro for the maintenance state for twice. Third class, 45 shower room. That's a long way.
We're just under the bonnet of this Mark IV Escort. Really nice to see that it's still got the original wings and the front panel. Unfortunately, the bonnet hasn't fared too well. There's 55,000 miles on the clock. And I tell you what, like most of the interiors, it's not bad at all. This arch is starting to go, as you can see there, but wouldn't take too much to address that. Just starting to go in the boot floor, as you can see here. Won't be prodding around in it too much. I think the Mark IV Escort is just on the turn. A few places it's got little bits of rust that just need addressing, but wouldn't take too much to get it sorted and back on the road. The MOT expired last year, so it currently doesn't have MOT, and today it is a no reserve car.
This one, been stood up since the end of last year. Showing 13, we have a sell it on the internet for the 2nd. Any further interest? The last time, 13, on the not sold.
They do sell all types of classic vehicles here at Anglia Car Auctions. This is a 1996 Ford Transit. I don't think that's a go faster stripe. It's a Smiley Transit pickup. The Transit has got an aluminium bed on the back, and Dad has now joined us as well, so we've got the whole family here today looking around the auction. Dad's just opened the bonnet to reveal the 2.5 diesel engine that has covered 130,000 miles. Just showing our keen eye. Wings have been replaced at some point. Someone's put a load of body sealant along them. Not been done too neatly, but I guess it's just a work van, so does it matter that much? Now, I didn't think this Transit had MOT, but I've just read up that it does. It's MOT'd until October of this year, and look at this chassis. That is in real good condition. Me and Dad were just discussing what this needs doing to it. Is this bed's taken off and put a flatbed on it so it can take vehicles. Apologies for the sunlight and the shadows, I know it's really annoying, but the step has been done on this side. They always rot out, especially on these Transits and the other Transits, the newer ones. Dad's saying that the other side step is all good as well. Just give you a little look around the inside. It's just a work van, let's be honest, but it's on the road still. Me and Dad have had a good look around this Transit and discussed about many plans that we'd love to do to it. We've got to walk away from it before we get too carried away. The estimate is only 1,500 to 2,500. Now we stumbled across another Mark IV Ford Escort. This is a 1.4L. MOT expired in 2020, unfortunately. It's showing 89,000 miles. Not bad in here. Interior looks in fair condition. Same sort of scenario here with the rust in the rear quarter and the arch just starting to go. Battery tray, which is a very common place for these to rust. It looks nice and solid. Had a slight bit of welding on the inner wing, but overall, I was about to say overall not bad, but that wing is very scabby. It's got a 1.4 CVH engine in the bay. I think it would be fair to say this is very similar to the other Mark IV Escort that's here. Just on the turn, but definitely not ready for the scrapyard yet. This one doesn't have an estimate because it is a no reserve. Now we're going upmarket. This is a 1993 Escort. It's an RS 2000. Check out the interior in this. I really like the pattern on the seats and the door cards. Nice little RS 2000 badge there. It's got MOT until June this year. Just having a look around the Escort. It doesn't seem to have many signs of rust appearing. Apologies, I must have misread the MOT status. It ran out June 2022, so that was last year. So you definitely won't be driving this home. It does look like it's been standing for a while as well, just by looking at the brake discs. It's showing 12,000 miles. As I always say, it's nice to look back at old MOTs to figure out whether it might have went over 100,000 or not. I don't normally read the VINs or anything, but I just had a quick look because it was up. It's really rusty under there, so yeah, that's a shame. You can't read the VIN, or it's very hard to read the VIN. Be a little bit tricky to MOT that, but you can always MOT it with without the VIN, or there might be a different location, maybe in the windscreen or something like that. And there it is. This is its 2 litre 16 valve engine. Very nice under here. Anyway, nice Escort once again, but just needs a little bit of fettling. I think it'll probably fly for a MOT straight away, but can't guarantee that just by looking around it for a minute or two. The estimate on it is £4,000 to £6,000. Didn't see that earlier, but it's held on with like a shoelace.
That's 4,500 once, twice, third time
We've just come across to this 1999 Escort van, and the first thing that sprung out to me was the wheels. These ones are Escort Cosworth wheels. These are worth like £1,000 if they're original, and they look to be in great condition as well. So honestly, these are probably worth more than a van. About £1,000 for these wheels. I'm surprised someone's actually selling this van with the wheels on it. The Escort van is showing 62,000 miles. The van also has MOT until November this year, so it's on the roads, ready to drive home. One thing Dad's already noticed is the rear panels. They're so straight, there's hardly any dings in them. Normally when people throw stuff in the back of these old vans, they've got loads of dings and bulges, but yeah, it's a very straight van considering it's 24 years old. The GoPro might not be able to pick up how straight this van actually is, but it's very impressive, the condition of it, that's for sure. It has got a bit of a funky colour scheme. It's not terrible though. So basically it's a black van, but the rear doors are silver. So is the roof and the front bonnet. Now I won't repeat what I said when Dad first lifted this engine. It's not suitable for YouTube. But it was something along the line of, wow, that is clean. Look at it. So clean. Now this is the same engine that I've got in my Fiesta van. It's a 1.8 Endura diesel engine. Very, very slow, but also very economical. Anyway, it's fair to say that I really like this Escort van. Might not be a classic yet, but definitely a future classic, and it's on the roads and very, very clean. It's offered as a no reserve, which is so surprising because them wheels are worth £1,000 all day long if they're original Escort Cosworth wheels. So yeah, let's wait and see what that goes for.
1900, 2000, 21, 22, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 33. Fresh money. Right, I should have done tonight. At 33, 34, you're out now. 34, 34, 35. That's £4,000. You're all that. I'm making 45 over the back. 42 on the back. That's 42. I'm going to shake your head now. That's 42. They've looked at on your video. That's 42. 47 means money. You're out now. You're sir. Thank you very much for your video. 47.
I shouldn't be showing Dad around this because he used to own a 100e. This is a 1959 Ford Anglia 100e. V5 present. Obviously it's tax and MOT exempt. Here's just a little pan around of the interior. Very, very basic. Thing I love about these seats, there's no handle or anything. They just go up or go down, that's it. Once they're down, they ain't coming back up. Here's just a little look at the boot. Comes with its own jack. You even have to remember to put your aerial up on this one. The estimate on the Anglia 100E is £4,500 to £6,500. What on earth have we just stumbled across? Chopped roof. Bloody hell, there's nothing left of it. This is a 1978 Austin Mini. This is a proper custom job. I had to chop all the doors down, all the pillars. It takes a lot of work, so credit to whoever's done this. They fitted some nice Cobra seats in there. Surprisingly, I think I could probably get in there, but I'm not going to try. Dad's just lifted the bonnet on this Mini. It's got a 848cc engine, but he's informed me this is the rocker cover off of a 1275cc engine. Unfortunately, you can't drive this Mini home because it hasn't been MOT'd since 2005. We all know Lauren loves a Mini. Is it the one?
No.
It's a no from Lauren. Anyway, the estimate is £3,000 to £4,000.
Take a 50 on it, at £2,900 you done twice. Last time, it's all released.
They don't just auction off classics that you can drive straight home here at Anglia Car Auctions. They also offer projects. It's a 1960 Ford Anglia. As you can see, it looks like the vendor has crammed as many parts into there as they can. It's literally full up of parts. Some of them you could probably use again. Some of them are probably destined for the bin. It's even got the original VIN number on the top of the strut too. Most of this car looks pretty original. I don't think it's ever been restored. The boot hasn't got any hinges either, but it looks like, what are they, door cards? Yeah. God, they need a lot of work. Overall, this is a project. Let's not beat around the bush. But the condition isn't too bad. It's a great start for someone. They can just strip it, get it shot blasted, and then build the shell up. Now the main thing that's holding the money for this Anglia is the registration. It's WJN1, which reflects the estimate of £10,000 to £12,000.
But he left 5, he's done with it once. Twice, you're going to miss it this time, he done twice.
We've just found a Mark 1 Capri 3 litre V6. Overall, I think you'll agree that the engine bay looks nice and respectable. Now this Capri is originally from South Africa, and I tell you what, I've seen a lot of classic Fords from South Africa, but this one is not too bad at all. Another thing the buyer needs to be aware of if you purchase this is that it's not registered in the UK yet, so you still have to go through getting all the Nova certifications and whatnot. The estimate on the Mark 1 Capri is £8,000 to £10,000.
That's £6,000, all other short group ones. On the next, going back to business ones. On time.
Who wants a project then? This is a 1983 Astra SL, even though it's got GTE stickers on it. Somehow the sticker has outlasted the metalwork. Now it looks like it's got a lot of GTE parts on there. I'm not quite sure how rare they are, but it might be worth something. Got a new seal there. I think it needs a little bit more than that. It's in one hell of a state. Right, let's take a little look under the engine bay. Oh, I'm getting rained on by old rust. Here's the engine. Now I won't lie to you guys, I'm not sure if someone's changed the engine for a GTE one as well or not, so maybe some of you guys can inform me. The Astra was last MOT'd in 1998. I hate to say it, but that hasn't been on the road for as long as I've lived. Now there is no reserve on the Astra, so it'd be very interesting to see what that goes for.
On the internet, it's going anyone else in the room, but £1,100 for the second, third mark, and it's stolen, no money at all.
Now going from one rusty heap to another, I can't quite work out which one's worse yet. This is a 1971 Morris Mini 1275 GT. Look at that. There we go. So, surprisingly, the engine bay is actually looks like one of the best bits. Dare I say it. Still got the engine in there, so I'm not quite sure if that's worth a bit. I'm assuming it is. The overwhelming smell of mould in here It is quite horrible to say the least. I mean, it's still got all its interior, hasn't been ripped out and nicked. And the window still works, look at that. Definitely worth buying now. It's going to need a bit more than a few weekends to put this one back on the road, I think. The rust is pretty bad on this, but I'm not sure. Someone might be able to save it. You can tell it must be a desirable Mini or model of Mini because the estimate is £6,000 to £8,000. Now we saw Del Boy's Reliant earlier, but this is a 1979 Reliant Kitten. It's got 4 wheels. Seats in the back. Really weird that the gear stick is sort of on that centre console instead of on the floor. It's stated in the description that the Reliant Kitten has been stored for 30 years. And although it's been off the road for 30 years, it doesn't look in bad condition. There's no estimate on this 4-wheeled Reliant because it's got a no reserve. So we'll wait and see what that goes for. This is a car you don't see much of anymore. 1997 Ford Probe, 24 valve. Oh, big old engine. What is it? V6? Yeah, it's a V6 24 valve. Yeah, front wheel drive. Very interesting. Never looked around one of these personally. They almost look like Porsche seats. The clocks are reading 22,000 miles, but this Probe has been dry stored for 16 years, so it hasn't got an MOT. Now I'm quite surprised at the estimate on this Probe. It's £2,000 to £2,500. I think, yeah, I haven't looked underneath it, but you'll be able to get that back on the road pretty easily.
7 away ones, 2,300 the Probes going all the way, twice, the final 2, 3, so.
If you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I really like the E36s, especially the Estates, or the Taurins, should I say. This is a 318i Auto in this lovely green colour. So that there is the 1.8 litre petrol engine, I believe. So not the most powerful engine. The BMW has also got MOT till May 2024, so practically a 12-month ticket. Just entered the inside of the car. It's got 140,000 miles on the clock. Look at this, lovely. Cream leather, a little bit of cream on the door cards. Me and Dad have just both agreed that this is a really nice daily car to buy. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's probably a pain to keep that cream clean, but just look at it. Now, it doesn't have an estimate, it's a no reserve car. The only thing that's worrying me is that it's out here with most of the non-runners. This is normally where Anglia Car Auctions put their non-running cars, so yeah, we'll wait and see if it does go through the auction.
At 1,011, do you want quick anywhere? Once, twice, out the door, it's with you. At £1,000 it isn't done. Yours it is.
We're just looking under the bonnet of a 2-litre Laser Capri, looking in real good, presentable condition. It's a 1989 model. And this one is also a automatic. The Capri is on the road and it's MOT'd until January 2024. With an estimation of £8,000 to £10,000, that Capri could be yours.
82 is in lovely condition, you can see that. 83. But anyway, you're done. It's your car, but not now. That's one cell number.
Now, it's no secret that I love Fords, and here is a great selection that I'm just going to run through now. This is a 1990 XR2i Mark III Fiesta, which has basically been built for track. You can see there's loads of dials everywhere. It's got some harnesses in these big Recaro seats. The interior also features a cage and a sunroof. Now check this out. A lovely silver top Z-Tech, I believe, in the engine bay. Loads of goodies on it. Strut brace, all of these silicone hoses. Very nicely done. The MOT on the Mark III Fiesta ran out in 2021. A really sad story with this car. The bloke was building it so people with cancer could experience a track day, but unfortunately he prematurely died himself. Lovely car, and it'd be great to sort of carry on that theme and charity work if someone buys this. The estimate on the XR2i is £4,000 to £6,000. The next Ford up is this 1965 Anglia. I love the mirrors on the Anglias, very nice. Even got the quarter opening windows, proper old school. Talking about proper old school, look at that dash. Oh wow, so nice. I actually have got such a soft spot for Anglias. The boot is nice and respectable, just like the rest of the Anglia. Oh wow, look at that, that's what you want to see. A Burton Powell rocker cover on the upgraded 1500 GT engine. Very interesting with this engine because the inlet and exhaust are on the same side. Very stunning Anglia to say the least, and the estimate on it is £10,000 to £12,000. Wow, look at that Mark 1 Escort. This is a 1969 model and a bit of a track weapon to say the least. It's got his big old fuel tank in there, along with the filter and pump and all of the stuff that comes with that. It definitely is a track weapon. It's got these poly windows and some air ductings just to get some air in there. There's nothing left of the interior. Blimey, it's got a carbon fibre bucket seat. That looks like one of the most uncomfiest bucket seats I've ever seen. And I even believe it's got a plumbed in fire extinguisher, so you probably find some of them lines go into the engine bay. It's got a Lotus engine in it, which is currently turning out 172 brake horsepower, which is plenty for this Escort. You can also spot the little fire extinguisher injectors or whatever they are, in case this ever goes up in flames. That'll all get dosed in some foam. There's a lot of parts that are FIA approved in this Escort, so I believe you could jump in it and start racing with the correct licenses and whatnot. It's estimated £18,000 to £22,000.
Away it goes then at 15.5. It is still provisional and done. 750 do you want? Quick? No.
We've come across another mildly rally race Mark II Escort. This is a 3.5 V8. Fiberglass bonnet. It's had to have loads of vents put in to keep that V8 cool. There it is. Rover V8. Wow. I had to do a lot of cutting to the bulkheads to get that to squeeze in. A lot of cutting. It's all specced up in here for a rally. Got all your headsets there, big cage, switches, and all the rest that comes with it.
15,250 once, twice, out the door at 15,250 and done. That is provisional with you.
In my auction videos, some people ask about the motorbikes, and I can't lie, I don't know too much about any. I'm a bit of a fan of the Lambrettas and Vespas, but that's about as far as my knowledge goes. But here's the bikes for the people that ask. To finish this little Ford row off, I've got two Mark II Cortinas here. This one being a 1967 Cortina, been specced up to go into some sort of rally, just like the other two Escorts we just looked at. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely been kitted out just like the others. Loads of switches and dials, everything in there. In the engine bay is a 1600 Crossflow, but it's been bored out to 1700. It's got a set of twin 45 Webers on the side. It's a really good looking classic car engine bay. Last MOT for this one was in 2022, but I do believe that it's tax and MOT exempt now. The estimate on the Cortina is £18,000 to £22,000.
It is provisional at 15,000. We are and done. £15,000.
And now we have a more original Mark II Cortina. This is a 1970 3-litre V6. Just like the couple of Mark II Cortinas we've already looked round. Fairly standard inside with all its dials. Unfortunately, the bonnet won't open on this Cortina. It's been made to look like a Savage. The estimate on this one is £6,000 to £8,000.
It's with you, internet at 4.7 now. Provisional at 4.7. It isn't done. 47, that is provisional.
I've just found this 1982 Gordini Renault Turbo. Check out the interior with its sort of cream brownie coloured seats. They're proper weird, they are, how the bolsters are, a bit like the other Renault we looked around earlier. This Renault Turbo has 84,000 miles on the clocks. If you're wondering what this colour is, it's Alpine Blue. I'm loving the original turbo wheels. It's thought that this car had a full rebuild in 2012. Now, I did just think this was rear-wheel drive, but it's just the French trying to confuse me, I think. The engine's here and the gearbox is in front of it. I'm not too sure how the drive shafts work and all of that because I can't see too much, but yeah, pretty interesting. I thought, what? It's a rear-wheel drive, but no, it's not. I've just had a look underneath and it's only got 2 shafts going to the front wheels. Hasn't got anything at the rear. The estimate on the Renault 5 Turbo is £8,000 to £10,000.
6,600 is now going twice. Third time calling at 6,600 it is.
What have I just stumbled across here? This little 1973 Morris Mini 1000 is being completely dwarfed by this massive army truck. Oh wow, look at that. I really like that. I think the plastics have been painted around the dash and the speedos and that. I think they look really cool. Nice bit of leather up here, nice stitching. Everything's been re-trimmed in here, including the seats and the door cards. The clocks are showing 82,000 miles. Yeah, I really like these plastics. Nice little touches they are. When Lauren finally decides to get a Mini, I'm definitely gonna put some of these straps on. I think they look cool. And here is the engine bay, just like the rest of the Mini, completely restored to a high standard. The Mini doesn't have any MOT, but it is actually now MOT and tax exempt. I don't think you'll have any qualms taking this on the roads. It looks really nice. Obviously, if someone was to buy it, probably suggest just a quick inspection. The estimate on the Mini 1000 is £6,000 to £8,000. Look what we spotted now. This is a 1974 Cortina 2000E. There's something very special about this car. It is a development car, so it's basically a one-off. If you know your Cortinas better than me, you'll be able to spot all the differences. It's got a digital dash in this one. Look at the way it sort of pans around, comes around here and around that bit as well, sort of curves around. When me and Lauren first got here today, Guy brought us over to this and said, look at this. So basically this is a safety feature prototype. So instead of having seat belts, they thought it'd be clever to put this massive bolster behind the driver's seats, so it'll be somehow safe in the case of an accident. Very weird, and I can imagine it's very uncomfortable to sit in as well. The owner of this has fitted seat belts to it, but there wasn't any seat belts when it was produced. I'm just reading now, this was a project between Ford and the government's Transport and Road Research Laboratory, and it's all about all the padding and stuff they've added to the interior to make it safer. Another interesting fact about these wheels, the safety feature these have is that if you get a flat tyre or a tyre bursts, it will try and somehow not detach from the wheel. There must be something in the wheel made so the tyre doesn't detach from the wheel, or isn't detached as easy as a normal wheel. So there you have it, a one-off Mark III Cortina that you will never ever see again. It's here this weekend at Anglia Car Auctions with an estimate of £12,000 to £14,000.
8,300 only again. That's got to be a bit more than that. In fact, gentlemen, if you're interested, come and have a word. Very, very rare car.
It seems like this room is filled with one-offs. This is a 1978 Leyland Mini Clubman. There's all leopard print on the floor. I mean, it's been done really well though. It's not like it's been thrown in. Actually looks like someone spent a bit of time doing it. Oh, I really like all the dash on that as well. That looks nice and neat. They look like some new Mini seats, I think. Yeah, they are. It's very interesting. I'd love to know how the owner got this finish. I don't like touching cars normally, but I think this is a little exemption. These mirrors are real wood, so is obviously the wooden fascia bits around the outsides, but there'd always be on this Mini anyway. Also, wooden bumpers at the back. The hinges aren't wooden, but yeah, this is just really unique and cool. That's all wooden in there as well, even a different type of wood used there. As we come to the front of the Mini, you can tell how much time and effort's gone into this. Even the grille is wooden, and the bumper at the front. It's got like these little lights in the side of the wing. It might not be to everyone's cup of tea, it definitely isn't mine, but you've got to appreciate the workmanship that's gone into it. Just open the bonnet. I wanted to know whether the wood theme continues. It doesn't, but it's been finished off nice and neatly by the wings and along the scuttle. Here's the original 1.1 engine. It's definitely a one-off, and the estimate is £6,000 to £8,000.
48 for the second, be quick on your run, all on, 48 songs, 48.
Next up, we're inside another Mark II Cortina, but this one is an estate. I can't say I've seen many of these at the auctions before. Here it is in all its flesh, the 1967 Cortina Super Estate. Got to have a roof rack on an estate. I think that suits the Cortina really well. We've looked around some really mint engine bays, but this one is possibly the best with its 1600 crossflow engine in the bay. I believe this Cortina estate has been restored, and to such a high standard. When I say it's been restored to a high standard, it really has been. Nothing's been left. Everything's been restored or cleaned up. Really good condition. This has only had 5 owners in its history. Just spotted the original Capital Radio sticker in the rear window. Let's open this boot if we can. Just check out the boot. It's immaculate. Really clean. Even though the Cortina is now tax and MOT exempt, it has been MOT'd, and it has got MOT until April 2024. The estimate on it today is £8,000 to £10,000.
You'll be getting yourself later, that 14, 8, that's yours, welcome.
What a brilliant weekend up here visiting Anglia Car Auctions. There were so many cars that I was tempted to purchase. I did give in the end, and I got a bidding card for that Mark V Escort van. It was so nice. I can't even put it across on these videos how fresh and clean that was, but it went way above what I was willing to pay for it. Fair play to whoever bought it. It was a very clean van, but yeah, it just went a little bit too high for me. Plenty of other really nice classics getting auctioned off, including that Mark II Fiesta that we looked around at the start of the video. I think that was a very respectable hammer price. I can't remember what it was. It was around £4,000, that's all I know. And yeah, I think that was a very good price for that. Something that we take for granted as well here at Anglia Car Auction is the catalogue. It's so good. It's got all the information, mileage, MOTs, history, all written down on it, and pictures of the cars. You don't really get that much at other classic car auctions, so that's definitely a bonus that Anglia Car Auctions provide here. Anyway, I'm not going to make this outro too long because me and Lauren are very sweaty and hot and need to get home. The next Anglia Car Auction is on the 19th and 20th of August, so put that in your calendar if you want to attend. Massive thank you to everyone at Anglia Car Auctions once again for being so welcoming and friendly, and that's about it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.